to AAGG's learning section. I want to introduce our AAGG's board member first. From this table is Rita. Rita is our AAGG's treasurer. And Mr. Tai.
谢国兴，谢三星。
Our Wang. And next is Joe Wang. And the other table is Katie Yu. Katie Yu is also the new board member. And next is Teresa Lai. And then it's Michael Chen. And let's congratulate AAGG's new board member.
The topic of my today's talk is called the hopes and fears of our community. So I will begin with political self-empowerment. Concrete examples to show how we can fight and how we can be quite successful at it. Every presidential election is a golden opportunity for a minority to ask politicians to help us become equal citizens. Right now, we are not. For example, in college admissions, Asian American students will have to give 140 points to white applicants in order to gain the same access to elite schools. And everything else being normalized. In other words, in terms of extracurricular activity, the quality of recommendation are all equalized. Still, a minority would have to give 140 SAT points to the majority under the name of affirmative action. So, we, or 80-20 has always used presidential elections to send them questionnaires. In 2008, we sent a questionnaire of 6 questions. 3 questions about glass ceilings, 3 questions about federal judges. You see, Asian Americans have 5.6% of all the nation's lawyers, but only 0.7% of the nation's federal judges. Our first 2 questions are very tight. Say, if elected, would you give the top priority to qualified Asian American judges program? And we respectfully requested that candidates must answer either yes or no. Candidates in that year, the Democratic candidates, only answer yes or no questionnaires to 2 organizations. One was AFL-CIO. You've heard of that union organization before, I assume. Have you? AFL-CIO, American Federation of Labor. And the other one was to us. Anyway, by the time we started battle with Hillary, Senator Biden has already sending 6 yeses. That's because we are friends. And Senator Dodd has also done so, but not Hillary. Hillary at that year was known as the odds-on likely Democratic nominee. So she has to be more careful. Instead, she sent us a statement. You know, a statement means nothing. It's a statement of sweet words signifying nothing. We, of course, been talking to them before, saying we don't like statement. But nevertheless, they sent us a statement. And so we published an e-newsletter. That's the day we published it, and the title is Clinton's Statement versus 80-20's Questions, pointing out to our supporters that's not sufficient. And 2 days later, we sent out, during that time, we urged our supporters to send faxes. At that time, email was not so popular yet as faxes. And we published the faxes, of course. The faxes were mad at Hillary. Right? It means we begin to put on pressure on Hillary. And then another 2 days later, we sent out spreading outrage against Senator Clinton. People who are not in politics just say, oh, you want politicians to do something for you, you gotta say nice things about them, you gotta give them money. After tonight, this afternoon, you'll understand that's not effective. We started attacking her. And then 6 days later, she replied, well, with all yeses. Obama didn't. So we, of course, talked to them. One of the persons I talked to, perhaps you know the name, Chris Liu. You know Chris Liu? Chris Liu, who was the chief of staff of Senator Obama, and later on became the cabinet secretary for Obama administration. And in Obama's second term, he was a deputy labor secretary. So we sent out email, it's dated, and it says, call to action, fax Senator Obama. People understood right away, we are beginning to apply pressure. 3 days later, faxes from Asian Americans to Senator Obama. Of course, we published those which were enraged as Obama's not answering our questionnaire. When there was still no answer, it was 7 days later, we sent another newsletter out, said call to action, defeat Obama. And then 1 day later, we published reactions to call to showing how much support we got, or wanting to defeat Obama. And then 3 days later, we simply sent out an e-newsletter saying defeat Obama. 2 days later, on January the 2nd, Obama answered with 6 yeses. He signed it. By the way, when the questionnaire first came in, it's without his signature, without first addressing me. We frankly sent it back. We said, no, that's not acceptable. If he's sincere about it, he has to sign it. Came in, signed, but without addressing me. We sent it back again. Do the questionnaire mean anything? Here is over a period, must be what, 20, 25 years of the number of Asian American federal judges. All that time, it's pretty much flat. Here, we made a press conference nationally saying that we thought it's outrageous. How come 5.6% of the lawyers are Asian Americans, mostly from Ivy League law schools? And yet, in terms of federal judges, it's 0.7%. Obama got elected, see how the numbers increased. It tripled. And at that time, there was not a single appeals court Asian American judges. By the end of his term, it's 4. So you can see from this, it's not luck. It is the determination. You see, the strategic principle is for politicians, you got to reward politicians who share your rightful concerns and punish those who don't. And that takes doing, and that takes guts. But in any respect, we think, what do you think politicians really is like? Some would say money. No, it's not money.
Power.
It is
Voice.
votes. Because why do you need money? To get votes. If we can deliver votes directly, that's what they want. So in 2008, we delivered a block vote of 68%. This is all New York Times data, okay, not ours. 68 to 31, giving him advantage of 37 points. That's quite a bit. And then in 2012, since he's delivered all of it, so far as the federal judges are concerned, and he delivered partially in terms of the glass ceiling issue. So we thank him. He gets now a plus of 47 votes. We can deliver presidential block vote a lot better than, for example, your gubernatorial votes. Gubernatorial votes, where we back someone, doesn't mean much. In presidential candidate, it does. But it takes more time to explain, so if you have questions, we'll bring that up. You can also see we have really changed America's political landscape. Before 80-20 exists, which is this timeline, in 1992, Asian Americans voted 24% in favor of the Republican presidential candidate. And 4 years later, it still favored the Republican presidential candidate by 5 points. But thereon, it goes like this. So, 80-20 Democratic is just a Democratic front? Certainly not. We don't care who gets elected. We only care whether the candidate has agreed to deliver, to help us win equal opportunity and equal citizenship. Oh, by the way, after we send out the questionnaires simultaneously to all Democratic and Republican presidential candidate in 3 moods, in 3 ways: fax, email, registered, return receipt requested, and thereafter we ask campaign staff to call, our staff to call the headquarters, talk to a staff to confirm that they have received our questionnaire. That staff's name is taken down, time of call is taken down. We do such things extremely seriously, so that people can't try to say, oh, you guys, you're just playing a game. No, we don't play games. We honestly mean to serve you. And the only way we can serve you is if we are honest. SCA 5. How many of you have done something during the California SCA 5? Okay, more hands. What does it stand for? It stands for Senate Constitutional Amendment 5. And since it's a constitutional amendment, in order to pass it, to make it law, you have to get 2/3 votes from both chambers, from California Senate as well as California's Assembly. And Democrats were very cocky, said, we're going to get it, because Democrats had 2/3 members of the Senate as well as of the Assembly. So, a Hispanic senator proposed it, passed the Senate with all 3 Asian American senators voting for it. Can you believe that? They've really lost touch with us. And as soon as that came out, of course, 80-20 really sprang into action. Why? Because we are trying to reverse nationally the picture. If California is going backwards, and if we let it happen, that immediately defeats whatever we want to do nationally. So we work with Asian American politicians. I know Ted Lieu very well. Any of you know his name? He used to be a California senator. Now he is a congressman. And on this, we didn't do it alone. There were many other organizations, but all the other organizations basically were doing demonstration. We go direct to the votes, the Senate and Assembly votes. What we've done in kicking these 2 persons out is child's play, when it compared to the Jewish American organization called AAGG. You know what AAGG is? AAGG stands for American Israel Public Affairs Committee. Let me tell you about AAPAC, but this is important. That's a key in politics. AAPAC, as you know, is not only for Jewish Americans, but also very much for Israel. Right? And have you heard of Senator Fulbright? Of course, Fulbright Scholarship, Fulbright Fellows, blah, blah, blah. Fulbright was the chairman of Senate Foreign Relations Committee. He always believed that America favors Israel too much in its Middle East policy, so much so that's against the U.S. interest. So he advocates wanting to balance it a little bit. AAPAC heard about it. They first sweet talking. That's how we always do. We're always trying to create a win-win instead of fighting. Who likes to fight, right? No one wants to fight, but we fight. We have to, if we have to. Sweet talk Senator Fulbright, did great fundraisers for him, and then start cussing him. When it didn't work, then start cussing him. And even that didn't work. AAPAC clearly stated publicly, saying that when you run next time, we're going to beat you. And beat him, AAPAC did